let's do the picks right now.
Let's
I have the Eagles winning the game 20-16. Man, it'd be great if they came out and they scored some early points, and instead of boos in the first quarter because there's 2 3-and-outs in a row, that the fans are actually happy and we go home happy and we come in here tomorrow and be like, all right, like that was the kind of performance that I'm looking for. That's really, as a fan, that's the kind of performance that I think fans need right now, which is our team actually is good. Our offense actually is good. I think we forget the talent that's on this team just based on kind of, it's been a while since the offense has looked like we thought it was going to. It'd be nice if this was the week. I don't think this is going to be the week. I think this is a win for the Eagles, 20-16, but a lot of field goals and a lot of yards given up by the defense. So time of possession by the Browns, them chewing up yards, but ultimately not scoring touchdowns. So I will take the Eagles to win the close one, 20-16 over the Browns. So take that 9.5 on the Browns. And I would get it now. I don't think the line's going to go up past this. So if you're betting the Browns, I would take it. If you're looking to bet the Eagles, I would wait until kickoff. This might get down. It might get bet down on Sunday when people actually are like, what the hell are we doing with the Eagles being 9-point favorites? So you might see a late run of money. So I would, if you want to bet the Eagles, I would wait until Sunday to see where that line goes. I doubt it goes much higher than it is right now. All right, Chargers and Broncos. I think the Chargers are a really good team. I don't think the Broncos are much of a team. And I love when new good coaches come in, and it makes you realize how good of a coach they are and how much of a stooge Brandon Staley was. I'll take the Chargers -3. Packers and Cards. Cardinals are coming off a very emotional win against San Francisco, a division game. They travel to Lambeau, and the Packers are kind of, they were expected to be a player in the NFC this year. They don't necessarily look like a player. I think this is the game they get off the schneid. I'll take the Packers -5. And over in London, I have friends over here. My buddy Sludge used to work at WIP. He's been doing radio in Chicago for the last, I don't know how many years now. He's over there with his listeners for the Jaguars and the Bears on Sunday morning. I love the Sunday morning game. I love waking up and having a 9 o'clock NFL game to where I'm drinking my coffee and I'm doing stuff and I have the NFL I'm able to watch. The Jags are traditionally good at that being the home team over in London. They're familiar with the travel. They're familiar with the schedule. Everything's not new to them. And honestly, they need this game. The Jaguars are a better team than they started off the season being. They, even last week, almost lost to the Colts. Joe Flacco almost let them back. They needed a late field goal to win it. But I see the offense to continue to roll, and I think there'll be some points scored in this game. But I'll take the Jags +1.5 over the Bears over in London. I see London. I see France. I see Tyler Zulli and his 3-0 week picks coming up. Yeah, so I'm 5-10. So if you combine my record, I'm 9-10.
Yeah, 9-10.
Very good with the Eagles.
Yeah, 9-10. I mean, you're flirting right around 500. And I don't know about you, but right before I go to make my picks, I go to some of the prognosticators throughout the sports landscape to see what they're doing, to see, am I crazy? Am I agreeing with too many people? Because I think there is like a bell curve of like, oh darn, everybody's taking the Chargers. I'm not taking the Chargers. You know what I mean? There's always that like mental feel to it. Some of these prognosticators, I'm looking at their numbers and they're like, now they pick every game. It gets much harder when you pick every game, but they're like 30-50 through the first 5 weeks. And I'm like, am I supposed to listen to you?
No,
you're the one that gets paid to this. You're 20 games under already.
No, and I'm telling you, the way you're picking games, don't let these guys drag you down. They should be looking for you for picks.
I am feeling pretty good right now. I won't lie to you. Everything in me, you and I have said this phrase a million times. The Eagles should not be 9.5-point favorites over anybody. And everything in me is telling me to take Cleveland, take the Eagles to win the game, to take Cleveland with the points. And as I sit here, as we got closer and closer to the end of the show, maybe it's bravado, maybe it's a false sense of bravado because I need something to feel alive after the Phillies' lack of performance. I could see the Eagles winning this game by 10 points. And 10 might be enough to get, like, that's the hook, right? If you win by 10, you cover the 9.5. And I don't think it's necessarily, I think the Eagles are some juggernaut team, and this is like, Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts' get-right game. But I do see this as more of along the lines of Deshaun Watson's been terrible. the Browns haven't really been able to run the football either. They only have 483 rushing yards this season. Jerome Ford has been a little underwhelming throughout the course of the season. Do you know the Browns are 12 for 66 on third down conversion attempts this year?
That's not good, right?
It's like just over 20%. That's terrible. They are 12 for 66 on third down conversions. Their opponents are 23 for 66 on third down conversions. So they're not getting off the field either. It's a good defense that I think is unfortunately getting marred by the fact that their offense can't get out of its own way. Like Washington put up a ton of points on them last week, but it was a close game through the first 25 minutes or so. And then the defense just gets run out of gas. I could see the Eagles winning this game in a weird fashion, like 27-17 and covering the spread. So I think for the first time this year, you and I are going to disagree. I'm going to take the Eagles with the points. I think they win this game 27-17.
Damn it. Like I've literally changed the way I think about the game today.
I know. I was sitting here feeling the last 55 minutes have changed my mind apparently, which is probably not a good thing.
I don't know. Like, do we believe that this team is better than they've shown? Do we believe that Jalen Hurts is better than he's played? Do we believe that this offense is better than we've seen? Not on all of them, but I think this offense is better than we've seen. They still have like A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley's been a stud.
Yep.
This dude has been better than we thought he was going to be. So, like, they have to be better than they performed. I'm not changing my pick. I'm not changing.
All right. I respect it. Let me give you my 3 picks. This is a game that the line has flipped 5.5 points since a quarterback decision was made. The Bucs were plus 2.5 with Derek Carr slated to start. Spencer Rattler is getting the start now instead of in place of Derek Carr for the Saints. The Bucs have flipped to a 3.5 point line. It was plus 2. Now it's 3.5. I'm going to take the Bucs in this one. Spencer Rattler makes his first career start. I actually like Spencer Rattler's trajectory, like as a long-term project. I don't like Spencer Rattler in this particular game. The Bucs looked really good against the Eagles. They scored a lot of points against the Falcons, but their defense was not very good. Kirk Cousins did whatever he wanted, but I think there's no reason the Bucs don't go out and win this game by 4 points or more. I'm going to take Tampa Bay against the rookie quarterback making his debut.
And let me say this, and I'm sorry to be chiming in on each pick. Spencer Rattler playing is so much better of a story. Or like, I'm so much more intrigued to see what he looks like than throwing Derek Carr out there. He stinks, and I hate him. I can't wait to see what Rattler looks like.
I'm excited. I was a proponent of him in college, and I know he played poorly at South Carolina. He went from like, hey, this guy could be a number 1 overall pick to, I don't know if this guy's an NFL quarterback. But I think rocket for an arm. Good tangible stuff. It's about the intangibles. A little bit of a little immature. Got some growing up to do, I think. But I think the Bucs tomorrow, on Sunday, win this game. I'm going to take the Steelers over the Vegas Raiders. I believe that line is also at -3. Pittsburgh's defense has been really good. They've held opponents to 22 points or less in 3 of their first 4 games. Justin Fields has come back down to earth a little bit in this one. He looked really good in the second and third game of the regular season, a little less so in the last 2. They did a really nice job defensively so far. TJ Watt, I think, is going to feast in this one. I don't know if Aiden O'Connell ends up playing in this game for Vegas. I know Gardner Minshew got benched a week ago. I don't like either of those quarterbacks particularly. I'm going to take the Steelers on the road with the points at -3.
What the hell are the Raiders doing coming into the season with Gardner Minshew and like, if anything, don't sign Minshew and just let O'Connell do anything. It's not like Minshew has any great upside. He's exactly what you thought he was going to be.
Yep,
he's a good backup. He's not a starter. God, the Raiders are just stupid.
And then the last game I'm going to take, I think, is a toss-up. The Cowboys are 7-3 in their last 10 games at home. Jared Goff is something like 25-6 against the spread in indoors over the last couple of seasons. I know it's a weird extrapolated number, but there's some value to it considering the fact that the Lions have like 12 of their 17 home games, or it's 12 of their 17 games this season are indoors, which is great for a team that plays indoors already. I think Jahmyr Gibbs has a big game in this one. I think the Cowboys defense still being a little bit banged up with both of their defensive ends returning from injury, but still questionable. I'm going to take the Lions in this one. This is one of those games where I either think the Lions win this game in a close game and cover the spread just enough, or Dallas comes out and for 1 week, everybody goes, man, Dallas is back. Dak Prescott. Dallas could win this game by by 10 for no reason in particular. I just had a weird feeling about that, but I'm going to stick with the better team indoors. I just feel like
it's a huge line. They're 3-point favorites at Dallas. I like
on the
Detroit
road.
too. I was shocked at that line.